This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by HostGator. On today's Destructoid show, SimCity 5 wants to bring your world down in fire, the ESRB thinks the color red is too violent, and PlayStation 4! Rumors! Oh my god, PlayStation 4! Right now on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid, I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Wednesday.
I fixed it. Fixed my hair.
Oh, your hair, right.
Yeah.
You went through a little Bieber phase there and now you're out of it.
Yeah.
I think everybody goes through
It's
that.
a lot of pressure to maintain this hair. It's not even that great. It just looks like a bird.
I'm just happy that the top comments for once weren't about my boobs.
That was weird.
Yeah.
You guys are getting weird.
Yeah.
Real weird.
So we got some PlayStation 4 news, huh?
PlayStation 4. Guys, PlayStation 4 is happening. Pre-orders now available. Trade in your PlayStation Vita. Okay, not really. I got ahead of myself. No, there's nothing official about Sony's next console, but there are some juicy new rumors being spread around thanks to the fine folks over at Kotaku who've been given some details about something called the Orbis.
It sounds so magical.
Right? And that's a George Foreman grill, but it's a new one.
Is that what it's going to look like?
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, according to an anonymous but reliable source, Sony's mysterious Orbis device will have an AMD X64 CPU and a AMD Southern Islands GPU. It'll play Blu-ray discs and will support resolutions up to 4096 by 2160. That's all very well and good, but it's also pretty much just vague technical jargon that we sort of expected. On a more interesting note, the Orbis allegedly will not support used games. Yeah, apparently both downloaded games and retail disc copies will be tied to a user's PSN account, making it kind of difficult to play used games on there.
Sure, because they don't really
Yeah, and
exist.
this actually ties in with the rumor we heard about the Xbox 720, or whatever the hell Microsoft's working on, which apparently also doesn't like used games, but that's a thing. The Sony Orbis is also apparently not backwards compatible with PS3 games, which comes as a big piece of what the fuck news, but considering Sony's track record for stuff like this, it's not really the hugest surprise. I'm still trying to figure out how to stick a UMD into my PlayStation Vita.
At least the PS3 was backwards compatible for like the first year or two.
Yeah.
At least that they could have tried. But I understand from what I read on the internet, if you change the CPU and GPU, it's almost impossible to make it backwards compatible. So there's too many technical issues.
Dumb things. Anyway, this is, again, it's just a rumor. You know, it's not quite news. Until Sony says otherwise, we should probably be taking this with a grain of salt. And whether the Orbis is a working title or the actual title is also totally up in the air. But it should be noted that Orbis is Latin for circle. And the Latin word for life is vitae, and that's very close to Vita. So Orbis Vitae means circle of life, and you know, you get an Orbis and a Vita, and it's
Sony does like to force us to think deep sometimes.
the Lion King. But yeah, on a more curious note, this is actually kind of interesting. If you go to the address ps3.scedev.net or vita.scedev.net, it'll bring you to the Sony Computer Entertainment Developer Network. That's no secret. That's a thing that we know about. However, if you type in ps4.scedev.net, it'll say the page doesn't exist, which is what you'd expect for a page that doesn't exist. However, if you type in orbis.scedev.net, it will bring you to the developer network,
Internet
which is sort of
trickery.
like, why would that be a thing that goes there if PS4 isn't? It's not like an automatic redirect. So Sony Orbis, that could be a thing. I think we'll probably wait until it's more official, till I start bitching about the name.
Yeah, it's not the worst name I've ever heard, but it does sound like something you'd light on fire and
sounds
use to
like a
make your
great
room
brand of
smell
chewing
good or
gum to go
something.
get a deal on hotels and flights.
Also that.
Yes.
Also that. Oh, wonderful. I can't wait to hear more about that. Anyway, if there's one thing that the internet is good for, aside from obsessively Googling your own name, it's broadcasting information, and luckily we got a whole batch of SimCity news this morning, courtesy of Joystick. We already know that cities will be interconnected, so both you and your town's citizens will be able to visit your neighbors' cities and make use of their resources. Neighbors meaning friends you've added, not just some random creepo. And there'll be a completely optional mission system, because the kids like the games with the missions.
Sure do.
Or so I'm told.
I guess.
Also, and I'm sure we gleaned this from their press conference at GDC, but pollution will play a big role in this game depending on what resources you harvest and how you run your city. So, for example, if you build nothing but coal factories, you'll probably kill everyone, and they'll hate you, and you'll be terrible. This is all part of Maxis' goal to address what they call real issues in the real world, but they're careful to point out that they don't want to come off as preachy. Rather, they just want people to really think about the choices that they make in the game and how they'll affect their surrounding areas, which is not bad advice for any of us. To go along with this more conscientious style of play, the developers are also putting more focus on the actual Sims, which will have their own set of resources, things like wealth, education, health. All of that is going to factor into each individual Sim's happiness level. And of course, not every Sim will be happy. And much like real life, there will be people who just want to watch the world burn. Like, seriously, they're in the game. They're called firebugs, and apparently they're Sims who drive around your city in a black van, blasting metal music and lighting buildings on fire. Yeah. Question, EA, why wasn't this little tidbit of information at your press conference? Yeah? Would have been nice. On second thought, it's possible they did cover it, and nobody stuck around to hear it.
Mentioned that at the very end after everyone left.
Either way, that is amazing, and I want this game so hard right now. A couple other things worth noting. EA has confirmed that the game will be available for purchase on a wide range of digital distribution platforms, but to actually run it, you will need the Origin service and a persistent internet connection. That's not a DRM thing, it's just because of the multiplayer aspects and the whole global economy thing. They've also confirmed that the game will not support mods at launch, but did add that Glassbox, the game's engine, can and will support them somewhere down the line, just not at launch. So PC gamers have that to look forward to.
It's exciting. Origin's bad though.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm so excited to play this game. So, like before,
I don't know
when
why
people were talking about it, I was like, whatever, who gives a fuck? And now I'm like, holy shit.
Arsonist in a van with metal?
It's so detailed, and I love the style of video they used to do it. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Trip something, I don't know.
Okay.
Look it up, I swear it's awesome.
Good work, Tara.
But yeah.
So video games are sometimes really violent, and since moms hate violence, that's why we have the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, or the ESRB. They play all the games, they give them ratings, and then parents can know which games are not good for kids, and then kids also know which games are the coolest and they should want the most.
They actually don't play the games. Remember, we talked about that a while ago?
Oh, they have a robot
They're
that
given
does
a
it.
list of things that are offensive in the games,
Okay.
and then they evaluate based on
Well, one
that.
thing I always forget is that this list probably actually includes the game's box art, or maybe they actually look at the box art themselves, but apparently sometimes even the box art of a video game can be too violent. Yeah. My pal Jim Riley over at Game Informer reports that the ESRB has made Deep Silver change their cover art for their upcoming pirate RPG Risen 2 Dark Waters. Now here's the game's original box art. It's pretty straightforward for a game about pirates.
I like
There's
that.
a skull and some bones, and you know, it's kind of whatever.
Some nice red in there.
What do you think could be offensive about that, Tara?
You know,
What do you think?
probably the name.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
well apparently it's the color red. The color red is too violent. Deep Silver has been asked to change it to a more peaceful and serene turquoise color scheme. I'm not joking. That's what it actually, that's the new box art there. They had to change that. It got me thinking, though, that there are a lot of game covers that I find offensive aesthetically, so I've decided to propose some changes. ESRB, if you're watching, please just fix the following retroactively, magically. The cover art for Batman Arkham City had Batman with his fucking bloody knuckles, and he was ready to punch people, and you know, you really can't have that. So a simple color swap was done, and now Batman's fist and face have little speckles of brown stuff on there.
Oh.
There's nothing offensive about that, right? It's like he's been playing in the mud, or perhaps eating some chocolate cake in between fighting crime.
Who doesn't use their fist for things like that?
A fist covered in brown stuff. What could it possibly be? Anyway, I think that makes it look like a better game. Here's another one that was big last year. Everyone got really excited about that Skyrim game, but when I first saw the box art, I thought to myself, that looks old. It wants to play an old game. So I did some corrections. I fixed up the leather so that it looks like a new thing that people would want to buy. And then I started looking at it and I was thinking, hey man, that logo looks awfully pointy. I can just imagine someone being in the store, maybe they have bad depth perception and they don't want to touch the game because it looks sharp. So I changed it to something a little more appealing that looks like it's more safe. See?
Oh, that's nice.
Right. Now,
you know, that would go great with my custom Louis Vuitton visor.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, look at that. It's a game that people would actually want to buy. If they'd taken my advice that I made up now, back when they were making the game, maybe that would have sold. Anyway.
What a shame.
Yeah, right? Now, finally, I saw the box art for Epic Mickey, and I was just like, really? What's up with this blue? What's up with that? It looks like their printer ran out of ink, and it's dumb. So I took the liberty of changing it to red so that it matches Mickey's pants. But then I was thinking it still doesn't look right. It doesn't look epic, does it? So I changed the font to give it some more of an awesome look, and I gave Mickey some swords. And if I was a mom and I was shopping for games for my kid, I'd be like, damn, Mickey Mouse, you look awesome, and I buy the stupid game for my gross kid. So in conclusion, the ESRB has officially lost it if they actually want to change the color red to blue for the sake of not offending people. I've seen more violent t-shirts, like on the way to work today.
Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't have worn this necklace today.
That's got a skeleton lady on it. I don't know if I can look at that. Could you please just, I don't want to, anyway. But yeah, if I have the opportunity to do stupid Photoshops of video game boxes, I will.
Indeed. Thank you for your contribution to journalism, Max. Speaking of violent video games, Rockstar gave us a first look at Max Payne 3's multiplayer this morning, and I probably don't have to tell you how badass it is, because it's really badass. In the trailer, they show off the game's mechanics and some of the footage from 2 of the 3 multiplayer modes, Gang Wars and Painkiller. Gang Wars is the game's marquee multiplayer mode, and it pits 2 groups against each other in a constantly evolving story-driven battle, which is broken up actually into several different rounds. Each round has a specific objective, which will change over the course of the battle depending on how well your team did in previous rounds, so it's kind of dynamically updating all the time. Very cool. There's also a Painkiller multiplayer mode, which randomly selects 2 players to assume the role of either Max or his partner Passos as they face off against everyone else. But Max and Passos are armed with extra ammo and Painkiller, so they're super strong. But then when one of them gets killed, the person who did the most damage becomes them, and then everybody else is against them, and then the whole process repeats itself. It's kind of confusing to understand or explain, but it's super simple when you actually get into it. I know the biggest question on a lot of people's minds is how will bullet time work, and Rockstar has come up with a very interesting solution. They've implemented it as a burst, which is a special ability that players can equip, so whenever they trigger it, bullet time goes into effect not only for them, but for anyone else in their line of sight. So say I enter bullet time, dude sneaking up behind me won't be affected by it, but if he runs past me and moves into my line of sight, then he's into bullet time and it's on. Now, I actually got to go hands-on with the multiplayer section a couple weeks ago, so I've played all of these already. I can't talk about my impressions just yet, because all human emotions are embargoed currently. But we're gonna have a video up tomorrow on our channel, this very channel, of me and our producer, Zach. Yeah, he's in the video. We give a rundown of the whole multiplayer and we talk about our feelings and stuff.
Good.
So make sure you watch that or I will hunt you down and be very upset.
Well, very good.
Very upset.
Tara, why don't you take a breather and read a nice word from our sponsor?
I'm gonna do that. HostGator can get your blog or website up and running in just minutes. With plans starting at $3.96 a month, you get 24/7 support and access to website building tools with over 4,000 templates. They will even migrate your current website for free. Their servers are 130% powered by wind energy, not to mention they offer unlimited disk space and bandwidth, a 45-day money-back guarantee, and $100 Google AdWords credit to market your site. For Revision 3 viewers, HostGator is offering 25% off your order or your first month free. What an amazing deal. Just go to HostGator.com and enter the code Destructoid at checkout to take advantage. Hostin'.
Enter that secret code. Do it now.
Do it.
So you guys know we're giving away 4 copies of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the PlayStation Vita? Yeah, for reals. I know, right? Yeah, all you have to do for this is you need to draw a picture of your 3 favorite characters from the game's roster doing whatever you think they should be doing. Doesn't have to be fighting. They could be having snacks. And send that picture to cookies@destructoid.com by this Thursday the 29th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. This contest is US only. We are trying to get more codes for our international fans. We know you guys are there. We're not trying to snub you. But in the meantime, this contest is a thing, so you should enter it and you can win things with superheroes. Hey, Tara. You know what is the coolest thing ever?
Me?
Golf is what I would say if I was our producer, Zach Miner, who just put up his review of the new Tiger Woods PGA Tour 13 Sport Ball Video Golf Entertainment Simulator. That is on our Revision 3 Games channel, which is youtube.com/rev3games. Go subscribe to that shit if you haven't already. You should have done that by now. And if you don't care about golf, don't worry, because there's lots of other fun videos on there that are not about golf at all.
Yeah, like Angry Birds and self-masturbation.
We had a discussion about this. Why is it self-masturbation?
Have you never heard of mutual masturbation?
No.
Forced masturbation?
Okay.
Okay, I'm
our
sorry.
Producer's
Our
yelling
producer's
at us
telling
about
us we can't talk about masturbation anymore.
Why do we have to
Seriously
talk about
though, subscribe to Rev3 Games. You will not regret it. And then go follow us on Twitter at Detroit Show. Max and I are also on there too, coincidentally, because we're individuals, damn it.
We're people.
I'm Tara Longest. He is Max Scoville. We're going to be back here on Friday for another one of our patented, certifiably insane live shows, and if that is not convincing, there will be free video games and beer.
Ooh.
You can tune in right here at youtube.com/gtoid or at revision3.com/watch, and that is going to be popping off at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you don't know what time that is in your time zone, that's why Google exists.
Google's a great website. I like it a lot.
It's my favorite,
It's
probably.
a pretty good website. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a good one.
See ya.